that led me to a further inquiry, which actually led me to question about the cycle which is actually generated outward. I was looking at the next book I have will lead me to something more which will allow me to be more happy. I actually looked for, I still have it in my wish list, book by the name Happier by Tal Ben Shahar, the author. And then I realized, no, there's something wrong. Happier, then I might go for happiest, right? There's something wrong in this path. So what is it that I'm on this path? I started inquiring, and I actually started learning about science of being, ontology as it's called, which shifted where I stand today. Before we go into that, we will be going on to some other things. I would like to invite a timer for the timer report for all the 3 speeches. May I invite the timer?
Mr. Toastmaster and guest. In the speaker category, Toastmaster Nika took 7 minutes 58 seconds. And Toastmaster Nirav took 5 minutes 54 seconds. And Toastmaster Shivani took 6 minutes 18 seconds.
Please be qualified. So we will not be having the vote.
Ontology is about science of being. Let me, instead of going into details, I will just talk about an example. Think about Dhirubhai Ambani or maybe Mukesh Ambani. How would he be in a situation when he has to raise $2 billion? Small stuff, what I tried. What about if anyone in this room has to raise $2 billion tomorrow? He might not sleep, or she might not sleep, because the way he is being is very different than Mukesh Ambani. That actually led me to an inquiry. Is there something in my being which is causing that happiness or unhappiness? And that is where everything should be. What is it that I am doing that I am happy in this situation? How is it that I am being that I am doing what I am doing to cause happiness or unhappiness? There is jubilant celebration going on there actually, based on some discussion. I see the effects going on right now in the room about that. That inquiry the details of this inquiry will be coming in some time, because there are some celebrations which are on right now. We will be moving on. I will give you something which will take back from that, which will actually conclude the session. So now we will be moving on to the evaluation session. I ask the next role player who is going to run that session, what is pursuit of happiness for him? And his answer surprised me. I will give that after the session. Very good. Toastmasters.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, I am the general evaluator for today, and as a general evaluator, my task is to lead the general evaluation session tonight. At this point of time, we look back to our performances which has been carried out, and there are 3 sections. To be very brief with. First is the evaluation on prepared speeches. Then is I will call the timer, counter, and the grammarian to present their report. And the last is the general evaluation session, how the meeting has gone on. So I will move to the first section of the meeting, that is the evaluation on prepared speeches, where the individual evaluators will come and give their feedback on the prepared speeches, that what they like about the speech and what is the areas of improvement. So I like to call upon Toastmasters Sienna to evaluate Toastmasters Mita's P1 speech. So may I invite Toastmaster Sienna.
Two rivers become one, two personalities become one. And what I experienced in this P1 speech is that many projects become one. General evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guest, and especially Mita. What I liked very much about the speech is that the speaker touched on even other speech projects like P2, P4, P6, and I will break up my evaluation into two parts, that is the content and the delivery. In the content part, I like the speaker's selection of the topic, confidence, which flowed all throughout her speech, right from her opening to her body to her conclusion. She spoke about, and I like the way she very well connected her conclusion, right, to how in the beginning she started with two rivers become one, and in the end she concluded with how the two Mitas become one. In her body, what I liked about the speech was how she took the word confidence and gave us 3 different examples. How she shared about her taking from her mother's traits, literature, and from her maternal side, business. She also shared the 2 different Mitas, the sensitive, imaginative, and idealistic Mita on one side, and on the other side, the rational, hardcore, no nonsense businesswoman Mita. She shared about the confidence of Generation X and Generation Y in her speech. She also further went on to tell about her educational qualifications, her PhD studies in family business, and the turning point of her life in 1998 when she took on business. Overall, I felt she very well met with most of the speech objectives, as the speech included about telling us more about herself. She used metaphors in her opening when she said 2 rivers become one from P4 speech. She also said holding hands of business companies. I'll move on to the delivery part. I found the speaker very well prepared, that showed in her the way she delivered a speech with confidence, no signs of nervousness, and no use of notes, especially very fluent. Also liked the way the speaker touched the P6 objectives when she shared with her excellent uses of pauses. When she shared about her first love, she said first love, and I was expecting something, it created suspense. Then she said at 7, and I wondered what was it going to be at 7. I thought maybe a crush or something, and she ended with books. So I like the way she used a pause in that sentence, which brought it out very well. However, I have some suggestions to offer. I would like to hear about the speaker speaking something about her siblings when she shared about her parents. Also, if she could tell us something about her future dreams or ambitions. And when she spoke about 2 Mitas, it would be nice if she would have just shifted and telling about 1 Mita here and 1 Mita here, so we could actually see the 2 Mitas becoming one. Overall, I felt the speech flow very smooth, just like the river in her speech. And I wish her all the best, awaiting to hear her future speeches. Over to you, Jim.
Thanks, Toastmaster Sierra, for that wonderful evaluation. I'd just like to reiterate that in Toastmasters, normally the evaluators do not comment on the speaker, they comment on the speech. And that's what Toastmaster Sierra has done. She has bring out what are the areas of the improvement, and that will definitely help you with your next speech. With this, I will now like to invite our second evaluator, Toastmaster Leslie. Toastmaster Leslie is evaluating his first speech. So I'd like to wish Toastmaster Leslie all the best. And Toastmaster Leslie will be evaluating Toastmaster Leader.
What better than a topic like Facebook? I myself grapple with the addiction every day. In the morning, the first thing that I pick up in my hand is my phone to check what are the recent updates that my friends have made. The important aspect of today was happiness, right? And happiness to an extent is relative. Relative to what we see our friends do, what we see our colleagues do, and the amount of the magnification that has happened because of the presence of Facebook. Today I am really excited about a trip to Goa. When I come back home and I see an update from my friend which says that I have just been back from Turkey, I'm like, so what are the appropriate topic to pick up? General evaluator, Toastmasters, and especially Nirav. I think your speech was very well structured. There was a very impactful opening. You started off with the much connected chord with the line "Abki baar Modi Sarkar." So that was what got my attention at the outset. I thought you made transitions also very appropriate. You could have used the stage in a much better manner to make the transitions much more evident. But given that it was your P2, you did very well when it came to, I clearly could make out that from an opening to a body to the conclusion, you moved very well. The one thing that I liked, which is very good early on, is that you stood here and asked a question. And once you asked that question, you paused and you waited for an answer. Generally, when we are early on in our speeches, and I've felt this myself, is that you tend to rush to your speech and you're like, when do I get to the end? You did that very well, so I like that about your speech. The other important thing that I felt was that you explained the advantages, the disadvantages, and that made us really feel, the impact that social media has on us. You used examples like the watchman's example, the update opportunistic watchman that you talked about. I felt you could have used a little bit more examples which could have led to that personal connect. The other important fact is at the end you used the word of the day as well. So I was really very happy that you did that. You could have grabbed the attention of the audience by, when you said, when I shout, "Abki baar," my daughter responds, "Modi Sarkar." That would have led to a great impact. But given that it's your, P2 speech, you have a long way to go when it comes to interaction. You were looking down to your notes, and many a times I mean, first of all, I think it's okay to use notes when it comes to your P2, but try not to use notes. Whenever you're looking down, you were losing connect with the audience. You could have kept that going. I thought overall you came across as very confident. You took appropriate pauses, as I said, at the time when you asked the question. So for me, the speech was a good one, one where I clearly thought that you met the objectives of the P2. So all the best for your next speech.
Toastmasters Lesnie's first evaluation. What is evaluation? He has given the direct feedback to the speaker, and it was very insightful, Leslie. So that's what the Toastmaster is all about. So Toastmasters, every speaker will have an evaluator. By the end of the speech, he will come, he will evaluate, give the positive and what are the areas of improvement. With this, I would like to call Toastmaster Puneet, who will evaluate Toastmaster Shivani's speech. So Toastmaster.
Slow and steady wins the race. That was what Toastmaster Shivani did. She started off slowly to build up her speech, and that is what I liked the most about her speech. She went on to building up, and she generated a personal story out of it, a story of her own, about her experience of learning how to write, how to write. I liked the conclusion, which was very clear, and the message was apt to what her speech title was, the key. You were thoroughly prepared. The speaker had clear message in her speech, and she depicted the confidence which was oozing out of the speaker as she builded and moved on towards her speech. The speaker showed great confidence, enthusiasm, and passion for her learning, which was very evident as you were present here. What I liked most was the posture which delivered your style and which showed that you were comfortable. The hand gestures, wow, it flowed as your words flowed along with it. The hand gestures were apt. As words flowed out of your mouth, the hand gestures came out equally well. But I have a few suggestions which would have even improved your speech and you would have moved on to the next level. What the speaker could have done is using the stage, because for most part of your speech you were fixed in this zone. You could have moved around as you would have pointed the message to the audience. For most part of the speech you were stagnant here, so you could have moved around. I also found that at some point of time, using words like passionately, you did not deliver that hand gesture, that style. Because passion, you should have told, yes, I had the passion. There were words which you used like explore. So explore, expand. You could have moved your hand better. Also, there were statements where I found you did not take the pause, which would have actually laid a better impact to the delivery. I also felt that for most of the time you were a bit stiff. So I felt that the hand gestures were there, the facial expressions were awesome, but you were a bit stiff moving the body as a whole. So if you could have covered all that, you would have really delivered a wonderful, wonderful speech. Overall, the speech was fabulous, and I really liked as your body danced along with your words. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I thought all the three evaluations were amazing. They were directly to the point, helping the speaker. With this, we end the first section of the evaluation round. And now I would like to call Timer Dilip to give his timing.
As far as the evaluator is concerned, Toastmaster Sienna took 3 minutes 18 seconds, and Toasty took 3 minutes 23 seconds, and Toastmaster Puri took 3 minutes 27 seconds.
All three of them are qualified. So I will request there are ballot sheets which are in front of you. So you can vote for the best evaluator. So now let me invite the second role player who takes care of. So let me invite the next role player who takes care of A's and arms. Let me invite Toastmaster Anand to present his arm on the table.
Toastmaster Vita, 3 R, 2 R, 1 om, 7 long pauses, 1 and. Toastmaster Nero, 3 R, 2 R, 1 2 so, 2 long pauses, 2 short pauses. Toastmaster Shivani, 1 so, 1 and, 1 repeat word, it's is. Toastmaster Sienna, 12 hours, 2 or, that's it. Toastmaster Leslie, 4 hours, 2 or, 5 you know. Set right, one right. One repeat word the twice. Toastmaster Pune. One so, no ask, no. Repeat word generated. Flowed. I. Wonderful.
Thanks, Toastmaster Anand, for your report on hunger. I thought that was a detailed report and very crisp report. I always like to say that when I was a speaker and when our uncle used to give the report, I was always worried that how many is you know and how many hours I have circled. So thanks for the report.
I think you should ask them to fill this and pass it on to the person in the aisle.
So I'll request you to fill the ballot sheets and
For
pass
the
it
best people, for the best evaluator.
for the best evaluator.
You're good. Done? Manish?
Okay, let's start with the proceedings. So now I would like to invite the next role here, that is Toastmaster Ruti, for her coming in.
Today's session. I would like to say today what a jubilant journey from books to social media to bike ride. I was really riding from one speech to another to third speech. It was really a great experience. Now starting with the good usages, there were some very good usages, which some of them are, which I could note down. Two rivers become one, two personalities become one. Both flow with own colors and structures. Play to perfect. Literature in my DNA. One Nita is sensitive, imaginative, and idealistic. Another Nita is rational, hardcore, and no-nonsense businesswoman. I think the words are very good. DNA of conflict in human relationships. Life is a circle where one end of circle is beginning of another. Facebook is the mirror. Twitter is the, I think it was megaphone. Yeah. It conveys your inner thoughts to the outer world. Act of convincing, asking, and pleading. Determine young minds. Explore, expand your search, and experiment on different things. All the fear is unhappiness might happen. Grapple with addiction. Body dance with your words. And some of there were not many not so good usages, but one or two which I felt. One was undoable. I think it is not doable. We have also seen word of the day were used by Arvind once, jubilant, Nita twice, jubilant and jubilance. Nirav jubilant once, Bhushan jubilant, he used it twice. And I did not see any pronunciation errors as such. So that's done. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Toastmaster Ruthi, for the report. So normally in Toastmasters we have a role of grammarian who takes care of, who actually observes what is the good usage and also good usage of the English. With this, I am moving to the last session of the general evaluation session, that is my evaluation report. So, in my evaluation report, I would say that the meeting has started on time. So, in this particular agenda was being taken by the new member, that is Toastmaster Leslie, who is done by the Sergeant of Arms. So, he has taken that particular ownership. Only what I feel, when the agenda was written, if we could have used the different marker pens for writing the agenda, that would have made it really good, and that, so that is one of the suggestions. Also, when President has started the meeting, he has called a few guests for introduction, and I have observed this, that whenever the guest was introduced, the President has moved away and given the complete control to the guest. Normally in other clubs, what I have observed that when the guests are invited, the President stays over there. So normally guest is talking to the President, not to the forum. So that is something good what I have observed. Few members walked in the meeting when the meeting was on. So that is something I request the members to be very careful, because that disturbs the entire agenda of the meeting. So be very careful. Normally you can walk when there is a clap and when you know that there is some announcement which has happened during the meeting. I'd also like to thank Dilip for taking the timer's role at the last moment, because timer's role was being taken by somebody else who haven't attended the program, so he has taken the timer's role at the last moment. Few of the TM members I have seen not wearing the ID cards, so I will request the TM members to wear the ID cards. TMOD has done a very brilliant job. He has started the meeting, so he has given the complete background of the role players. So that is something great. What I like about Kushan's role is he has given a lot of information on the books. And I have seen this throughout my career with Toastmaster for last 1 year. He talks about books a lot. So sometimes I thought that whether he is in some of the library or some of the he talks about books frequently. I think that's from my side on the general evaluation session. So I would like to hand over the control to TMOD of the day, Toastmaster Kushan.
When I moved back from Tokyo to India, about 70 to 80% of my luggage